Speaking of the weather, we are weather alert today because of this rain. I want to bring in Bekah Birdsall. We were just chatting before the show, trying to remember the last time you were here. We got to bring you back on here more often, Bekah.
I know. It's been a while. No better day to do it than this washout Monday.
Right. What can folks expect today? I know it's raining now, but what can folks expect throughout the day?
Yeah, well, it's been raining rounds and rounds of it since this weekend, and especially after the rain and thunderstorms that we saw on Thursday, the ground is just so saturated. So this additional 2 to 4 inches of rain is why we are weather alert, and we've seen rain pretty much since the morning hours, creating just a nightmare on the roadways. But thankfully, there have been no flood warnings issued, but we are just in the middle of the day. We've got more rain and even potentially a few thunderstorms on the way. So we are weather alert all day today for the potential not only of periods of heavy rainfall, but also some localized flash flooding as well. Picking up the rainfall totals just from now all the way to about lunchtime, we picked up anywhere from ½ an inch to even 3/4 of an inch in some spots. Boone probably picking up the majority of that, over 1 1/4 inch of rainfall, and it's really the mountains where it's looking like they'll have the best chance to see the heaviest downpours for today. Doppler radar has been very messy, pretty much start to finish. That is going to continue through the afternoon and evening hours. Want to zoom in on the mountains, most where you see the green, that's indicating more of the light spotty showers that a lot of the metro has been seeing. But when you see the darker oranges and yellows, that indicates some higher rainfall rates there over towards Lenoir and Boone and Roaring Creek over towards Avery County as well. Hickory, Statesville alongside that I-40 corridor also getting in on some downpours. But you'll notice there's a lot of breaks in between the radar, so not going to be a washout really all day, but you'll want to have that rain gear on hand now, especially seeing those higher rainfall rates setting up from Gastonia, Rock Hill, all the way down into Lancaster and Great Falls. Those darker reds you see are indicating just torrential downpours. When you see rainfall rates, especially over 1 inch per hour, again, this is why we do have that flooding concern. And not only that, but it also greatly reduces visibility. So if you are hitting the roads, you likely see some ponding out there, but again, this will also reduce visibility as well. So I want to get to that. You can see down to about 2.5 miles over in Chester, and that is where the heaviest rain is currently setting up, down to about 6 over in Rock Hill and about 5 over in Hickory. There's going to be generally a low chance for strong to severe storms, mainly coming out of the Greenville, Spartanburg area, but the majority of that will actually be rising up just in the form of some heavy rainfall pouring up, especially towards the mountain and foothill communities. You'll notice breaks in between the rainfall, especially from about 6 p.m. to about 10 o'clock here in the metro, with Futurecast rainfall really wanting to pick up now until Monday night, an additional 2 to 4 inches just up in the high country. So later today, again, we'll be watching for some localized flooding, especially within that area. But if we add it up from now all the way till Wednesday night, most locations will pick up an additional inch of rainfall as well. Again, why we are weather alert and why we do have flood watches all across the area. This continues for mountains, foothills, Ashwaubenon, Avery County, Burke, Caldwell, and some of our eastern counties as well. But even if you are not under a flood watch, you will still likely have a chance for flooding later on today. So Futurecast just showing waves of showers and thunderstorms all day long, again with breaks in between the rain. But you'll notice that main coverage tonight really looks to stick up towards the mountains. That's why there's going to be that higher concern there. You can see those darker oranges, reds, exactly what I was talking about with those heavy rainfall rates. By the time we get to Tuesday, we'll likely start off damp, areas of patchy dense fog, and then towards those afternoon hours, just scattered showers and thunderstorms for the afternoon and evening. Could even see a few peaks of sunshine. We'll do it all again on Wednesday before eventually drying off towards the end of the work week. High impact areas for flooding, that's going to be the mountains and foothills, also low-lying roads, poor drainage areas, and homes near rivers, lakes, and creeks. So if you are in a flood-prone area, here's what you need to do. You need to stay weather alert and have a way to receive alerts. Mainly if you have the WCNC app, you will actually get an alert to your phone if there is a flood emergency in your area or if there is a severe thunderstorm warning issued. But also know your risk and know if you live in a flood-prone area, be prepared to evacuate. Of course, never drive through flooded roadways. I want to emphasize that if our winds were a little bit stronger today, then we probably have a better chance to see down trees and down power lines. That's typically what we see, I guess, in a severe weather scenario. When we do have heavy rain and really strong winds, then we have more of that risk to see down trees and down power lines. Gusts have really only been up to about 20 miles per hour, so that really isn't going to be much of a concern going into today. That is going to be the good news. This is all thanks to a low pressure system across the Gulf Coast states that is just churning up a ton of tropical moisture across the southeast. So not only are the Carolinas dealing with flooding problems, likely many of those Gulf Coast states will continue that for today. But as it continues to lift up to the north, it will eventually dry us off later on in the work week, especially Thursday and Friday. And then we're going to be talking about not only drier conditions, but turning up the heat. Friday, potentially brushing 90 degrees in many spots, and that would be the warmest day out of the year so far. How do you feel about that, Nick?
I don't know how to feel because it's going to be a mess through Wednesday, and then it's going to get hot.
Yeah.
So
a ridge of high pressure system is going to be setting up actually over Texas, my home state, and they are supposed to be in the triple digits this week.
Wow.
So we are going to eventually get some of that heat later on, but PGA Tour Championship, of course, is happening this week, so it is going to be not only wet, but toasty too.
Oh, and it's going to be humid a little bit with that that moisture. Oh, well, look, you're going to have a good time either way, so I guess it doesn't matter.
Preview of summer.
Yes. Becca, thank you for your time.
Yes, of course.
All right, that's a look at your forecast. Just stay safe out there on the roads. We always say that. If you're out there on the roads, make sure you take your time and be safe, or if you're like myself and you want to be home with your blanket, today's and through Wednesday is a good opportunity.